Today I'm going to be making something really yummy, and these are my chocolate molten lava cakes. But this time I'm going to be using a muffin tin instead of the ramekins that you saw me use in another video. I had a lot of people asking me, I don't have ramekins, what can I use? And I suggested using the muffin or cupcake tray, and that's what we're going to use today. So let's get on with the ingredients. 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. I'm using Hershey's semi-sweet chocolate today. 3/4 of a cup of regular white sugar. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. 4 eggs. 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. And 1/2 cup of salted butter. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. Alright, so I have my little bain-marie set up here. This is simply a double boiler. So I have a pot with some water, and I'm going to get my glass bowl on the top. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to place my nice butter in there. And then all of my chocolate chips. And I'm just going to let this slowly come together and all melt up. So I'm going to let that go for a little while. I don't want my water to start boiling underneath. I just want it to simmer. So I'll just get that down a little bit. I'll let that melt and then I'll come back. So that's our first step. Now, if you don't want to do this, what you can do is you can microwave both of these in the microwave. And there's my oven, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So let me just sum up. So if you don't want to do it like this, what you can do is you can microwave your butter and always microwave your chocolate on the defrost mode, okay? So if you don't want to do this setup, you can still do it in the microwave, which makes it a little bit easier. I just like doing this. I find it really relaxing. So I'm going to let it melt down, and then we'll be back. Alright, so this is maybe 3 or 4 minutes later, and it's slowly starting to melt up. So I don't need this extremely hot, but just enough to melt it. And there we go. I'm going to turn my heat right off. And that looks good. Perfect. So that's it for the actual chocolate step of this recipe. So that looks very nice. I just like to continue stirring because it just feels so good to do that. I love whisking. So there we go. Perfect. So now on to our next step. Alright, for our next step, I've got another bowl and I've got my 4 eggs. So I just cracked those all before. There we go. I've got the 4 eggs. I'm just going to grab my mixer, just get those going a little bit. Then I'm going to get all of the sugar in. And our lovely vanilla. And I'm going to mix that up till it's nicely combined. Alright, once that's nicely combined, we're going to grab our nice chocolate mixture and get that all in there as well. So make sure to clean off your bowl. Always use a spatula, that way you're going to get everything out. We'll get that right in there, just like that. Perfect. Grab our mixer again, and just mix this in. Now I'm going to grab my flour, and you can either sift or don't, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to pour it all in there just like that. You can sift it if you wish, and now I'm just going to go on speed number 1. I don't want a big dust cloud, and I just want to get this incorporated. So I don't really want to overmix it too much. I'll just get it like that. We do have our oven set to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We want a really hot oven for this. Just like that. Okay, that's good, just like that. So now I'm going to go grab my pan here, and I'm going to spray these with cooking spray. So each one of the little cavities I'm going to spray with cooking spray. I'll do that, and I'll come back in a second. Alright, I'm back. I have just sprayed my little tray with cooking spray, and I've got some cocoa powder here. This is totally optional, but you can take cocoa powder and just get it in there. You can line your molds just like that. So what I'm going to do is, I have never done it in this kind of mold before, so I am going to bake off 2 of these. I'm going to test them, and then I'm going to come back and I'll tell you how long I baked them. We're going to check them out once we know our really exact time, then I'm going to do the rest of the batter. Because if we do all of our batter in one shot and we miss our mark, then we've got to do the whole thing over again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fill these up. So I'm going to take these now, 450 degrees, and I'm going to bake them. I'm going to try 8 minutes, and we're going to see what happens, okay? So I'm going to bake those, and I'll come back. I'll set everything up so that when they come out of the oven, we're going to get them onto a plate, and then we're going to break into them, and we're going to see. All right, so off to the oven. Okay, these have been in exactly 8 minutes, so I'm going to scoop one out, and I'm going to flip it over. So let's bring it out. They're not as pretty as the ones that are in the ramekin, but I did want to show you. So these are 8 minutes, so let's get these out. But there we go. So now let's just open these up. Okay, so these just came out. So here we are. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, and here we go. So let's just crack open. Let's just get right into here and let's see how much. So there you can see quite a bit of the actual cake texture, and then our beautiful chocolate molten lava in the middle. And I would say if we did this another 2 minutes, if we did this for 10 minutes, this would be overdone. At this point right here, I would say 8 minutes is actually very, very good. And there we go. The ramekins I did for 10 minutes, but we have a much, larger volume. But there we go. And let's check the other one just for fun. So I'll flip it over, and we'll just break into that one. And we can see the same kind of thing happening here. So there we go. So I am happy with 8 minutes, no more than 8 minutes at that 450 degrees. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so now that we've done our test and we know everything's good, we're going to use the rest of our batter and we're going to do the rest. So I'm going to clean up, I'm going to wash my little pan, clean it up, and we'll start over, and then we're going to do our final product. Right now we're in kind of like a test kitchen mode. I always like to test things because if somebody else is trying them at home, I want to make sure that everything is, absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm going to clean up and I'll be back in a couple seconds. Alright, so I'm back and I'm just putting my cocoa powder all around. Just getting these all nicely done. And we are ready to go again. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. All right, flip it this way. There we are. We've got our batter. And we'll start filling these. So I've got my oven, again going at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So let me just fill all of these up. Okay, so we know our magic time is around 8 minutes. I might actually do it, 7 minutes and 45 seconds, somewhere around there, because I did like how they looked at the 8-minute mark. So there we go. Maybe that one there needs a little bit more love. Maybe that one too. So I've got enough in here maybe for one more. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so at this point I am going to head off to my oven. I'm going to bake these. I'm going to say 8 minutes. I'm probably going to pull them out just before 8 minutes, like 5 seconds before the 8-minute mark. I'm actually going to use a timer on these. Okay, so off to the oven. Alright, here we go. Right out of the oven, 8 minutes. Okay, and this is extremely hot. So I'm just going to grab my little spatula, just go right around, just like that. Get my plate here. I'm going to try to get one out without breaking it. And there we go. Okay. And then we'll grab our fork. And let's take a look inside. And there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Let me zoom in. And there we go. Look at that. Perfect. So let's try one more. I've got a little bit of cocoa powder. You could use cocoa powder or a little bit of confectioner's sugar. Just a little light sprinkle. And there we go. Really, really nice. Let's try one more. Okay, I'm gonna stay zoomed in until I get this on the plate and we cut it open. And this time, I'm actually gonna try to lift it. There we go. Perfect, so now I've got it upright. And then, give it a little bit of cocoa powder. There we go. And then let's break into it. Just clean my fork off, here we go. All right. And there we go. Okay, so to finish this off, let's just sum up what we did. We did our 2 test little cakes at the beginning. So that's 2. We had a total of 6 here. That includes the 3 that are here. So we've got 8 altogether, and I have enough here for probably 1 more. So there we go. So we have a total of 9. Okay, so you can see that these make a much smaller lava cake, you know, compared to the ramekin. So I did want to do this video just so that everybody could see that it does indeed work using a muffin tin or a cupcake tin. So there we go. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. These are really, really good. Try this recipe out. Really fun, really easy. So that's it for now. I'll see you next time.